discuss our folks that are here today. My name is Nick Schreck. I'm with the Great Lakes Environmental Law Center, and we're representing a whole host of community and environmental organizations that are concerned about the I-94 expansion project. What we're here today for is to announce a letter that we have just submitted to MDOT and the Federal Highway Administration asking that they produce a supplemental environmental impact statement looking at the true environmental and community costs of this proposed expansion project. And what our letter highlights is really there's been some significant changes in the past 10 years since the original environmental impact statement was completed. We've had significant changes to population, significant changes to the regional economy, as well as significant changes to traffic and the vehicle miles traveled that are going along here along I-94. All three of those issues, population, the economy, and vehicle miles traveled, are issues that courts have found to be significant enough to warrant a supplemental EIS being completed. That's again what we're asking for today, is that MDOT take that step and agree to a supplemental environmental impact statement. Some other issues that they did not even consider back in 2003 and 2004 when the environmental impact statement was originally drafted. Those issues include climate change. No mention is made of the increased carbon pollution and other pollutants from vehicles that can contribute to climate change. Regional effects. That has to deal with, okay, so if we expand a highway here in Detroit, what impacts can that have on the region? That would include things like sprawl, inducing changes in vehicle traffic and how people move around the region. Those types of regional effects and associated impacts were not considered in the environmental impact statement. And finally, environmental justice. This is probably the most significant concern we have. Looking at where this project is located, where it's going through, we're talking about some of the most polluted zip codes in the state of Michigan. The fifth most polluted zip code, 48211, that's really the heart of this highway expansion project. And things like air emissions, those types of impacts to the community were not appropriately addressed the first time around back in 2003 and 2004. We also need to look at the way folks are moving. We have a huge increase in the number of people that are riding bikes to go to work, go to school. We have new schools that have opened here in the project area, and we have to be concerned about how those kids are going to get safely back and forth to school. We're talking about expanding lanes and highways and having associated service drives and all that type of thing. So, again, before I turn it over to Cindy and Will to talk a little bit more about these issues in detail, I want to highlight the fact that there were issues that were missed: environmental justice, climate change, regional effects during the first environmental impact statement. There are also issues that were just completely glossed over, and they were inadequately addressed by the agencies. And then we have the changed circumstances. That's the population, the economy, and traffic. And I'll just give you one quick statistic here. MDOT estimated that by 2025, we would have an 11% increase in vehicle miles traveled along I-94. Well, in fact, since 2003, we've seen a decrease of over 13% in vehicle miles traveled. So that's just one statistic. We all know the population challenges that we've had. Their projections were off by hundreds of thousands of people in both Detroit and the region. So all of this means we need a supplemental environmental impact statement. And what we're here today saying is that we're requesting that MDOT does a supplemental environmental impact statement, but if they fail to act, we are going to consider legal action. We're not afraid to file a lawsuit to make sure that environmental and community impacts are appropriately addressed, and that this project addresses those concerns before it moves forward. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Cindy Reese. She's with Moses on the Transportation Task Force to make some remarks.
Hi, my name is Cindy Reese, and I'm with the organization Moses, Metropolitan Organizing Strategy Enabling Strength. I always get that. We're a faith-based organization that works on social justice, and I am the co-chairperson of the Transportation Task Force. My journey with the task force has been a long time. It started up again about 3 years ago when my grandson graduated from high school, and he had no way to get to Oakland Community College or to get a job. I had always told my grandchildren that they had the same rights and privileges as any other American. My grandson told me that was not true. He felt that his city and his government had failed him. He could not go anywhere. He could not go anywhere because he had no transportation. On December 1st, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus. How many years later are we still trying to get on a bus? Or a rapid bus or a rail? We're still trying. Years ago, I worked with Jennifer Granholm on the Fix It First campaign, where it was decided that we would work on infrastructure first. That kind of happened. Then on December of 2012, after working hard, 24 tries, we finally got an RTA. This was hopeful for us, that one day the people in this region would be able to get where they need to go. Now, DDOT has decided that they want to widen our highways, do this expansion. For what? We've worked so hard to get managed transit. I'm tired. I feel like that I've been on this journey so long, trying to get something. I'm going to be an old lady by the time they do something. This is ridiculous. Why are they still playing a game and not moving forward? We need transportation for the elderly, for my grandkids. We need this. So today, I'm here to tell MDOT that you need to forget the expansion. You need to invest this money in transit. That is so important. And the repairs. We've got bridges that are falling apart, concrete falling off of them. And I don't understand why they don't want to help us out. I've lived in this city all my life. And I'm standing here today because I want to see some improvement. I want to see MDOT follow the law, do the study, and improve our community. Thank you.
Now I'll turn over to Will Copeland with EMEAC.
Good afternoon. My name is William Copeland, here with the East Michigan Environmental Action Council. We've brought different members of EMEAC and the Young Educators Alliance to talk about this drastic situation. In which this proposal for the expansion of the freeway is trying to be continued in advance, even though there's already been a public outcry that has been ignored. Even though there has been commentary, reports from environmental agencies and advocacy agencies that talk about how this is harming the community, that has already been ignored. Even though the first environmental impact study already acknowledges that this freeway plan will include displacement of residents and businesses, elimination of bridges, overpasses, and local transportation, disruption of community cohesion. This is already in the plan and it's been ignored. At EMEAC, we come from an environmental justice perspective, which talks about that the communities that face environmental burden must be those that receive the gifts and those that receive the positives that come from development, not those that receive additional burdens and additional hardships. This freeway expansion plan is placing additional burdens and additional hardships upon already polluted neighborhoods, already disturbed communities. So we also ask to look at this over $2 billion that is only being spent for this freeway expansion and ask, what could this $2 billion do to really improve transportation? What could this $2 billion do to really improve the transportation of those communities that are already burdened? You've heard it already in terms of fixing the roads. You've heard it already in terms of increasing the public transit. These are the ideas that this investment should go to, not destroying communities just for widening, which will only improve the lives of a very few people. I'm going to pass this off to Sawatu Salamara, also from EMEAC, who will further our comments.
Hello everyone, my name is Sawatu Salamara from East Michigan Environmental Action Council. And the only thing that I would just want to add is to remind everyone that there are principles already in place. They're called the environmental justice principles that we work under and that we appreciate and we bring light to. Because none of these things, as far as proposals or new or in urban areas to bring in new development, to bring in new things, we're all for new things. We're all for new development. But when there's in cost of people or in people's lives and their health and their access to equality of life, that's when we need to have these intense conversations that we're talking about here today. There's EJ Principles number 3 and number 7, which I really enjoy, because most of the time they're always violated, and we need to remind people of those. Is that it's against the environmental justice principles to misuse of land. So to expand I-75, that is misuse of land. That is misuse of public funds. That is misuse of our taxes. That is misuse of economic funds that can go towards any other thing that the city is going through, as well as violating principle number 7, which talks about that there should be equal decision-making with the community, as well as political officials, as well as your legislators, as well as the big heads that are in office. There needs to be equal community members sitting at the table with these people and bringing their perspectives and making sure that their voices are heard, because obviously that we're missing that piece. And so I just wanted to remind everyone of those principles that people have sprung forth into existence to work against these different things that we talk about as issues environmentally, culturally, traditionally, here in the city of Detroit, and to go against institutional oppression, environmental injustices, and so forth. So just thinking about those types of things coming from an environmental justice perspective, and thinking about the people first. I mean, we already in Detroit we already have a beautiful lifestyle. But what we can do is just simply improve those things. So instead of bringing new ideas and new this and new that, pay attention to what is already happening in the city, which is already beautiful, and bring light to that and improve that and help the people who are working on different projects on the ground, bring those to life. Improve our roads. Improve our roads. Like, that's something. That's something that the $2 billion can go towards. Improve the bus system. That is something that the money can go towards, instead of bringing a new idea. No, we already have the answer, and so we need our officials to stand by us and bring up those projects that are already happening and that are already in place inside the city of Detroit, so that all of us are abiding by the environmental justice principles, which are now under attack with this president.
Thank you. And I would just close before we take any questions by saying that everything that we just heard, these are all issues that should be considered by MDOT through a supplemental environmental impact statement process. Okay, we have federal case law that we mentioned in our letter, that we highlight in our letter, stating very clearly that agencies must consider